Hi, this is Quincy Carter, funniest man you don't really know yet. And you're here watching Urban Lyfe TV. Urban Lyfe.
Welcome to Urban Lyfe TV with your host, Anthony Roberts. And today's special guest, comedian Quincy Carr.
Welcome to Urban Lyfe TV, where we interview celebrities and artists in the Hampton Roads area. I'm your host, Anthony Roberts, and I'm here at I Am Manifesting Natural Hair Lounge, transforming your mind, body, and soul. And today with me, we have my great friend, who's a comedian, an actor, entrepreneur. And guess what? One of the funniest comedians that I know, Mr. Carr.
We great friends?
Oh, no, we're not. That's right. I just met you, right?
I'm not even on Facebook with you, man.
Oh, man, listen,
what are you,
you know what?
Bro?
I thought we was great friends because, we talked a couple. No, we didn't even talk on Facebook.
We're not friends on Facebook.
Not on Twitter, nothing.
Not until we great
But I
friends.
thought I knew the brother. Excuse me.
This whole interview just, you
It's
starting out lying.
It's a wash.
We can be friends, you know. I'm actually trying to get my Twitter game up. I've been on Twitter for about 5 years, and I just cracked 400. My game, that's completely irrelevant, but I'm getting there.
Okay.
You can't get people to follow me, but what I will say is, to the person, just want to shout out the person who decided to unfollow me. Like I said, I only have 399 now.
399.
Because Jeffrey, I know you unfollowed me. I know people's names when you only have 400 followers. So, but yeah, man, please feel free, follow me, man. Get my likes up and stuff.
Yes, I'll be the brother with the stick figure. All right.
I don't even know how to take that, to be honest.
well, listen, man. This is Quincy Carr, man. This guy, he's a great comedian. He has a bright future ahead of him, and we're gonna talk about him tonight. How you doing, man?
Doing great, man.
All right.
Cool.
All right. So tell me, Quincy, where you from?
Originally, I'm from Austin, Texas. I used to be afraid to say Austin because back in the day, like back in the 90s when I left there and I joined the military, I would tell folks where I'm from. They'd be like, where? I know Houston and Dallas and San Antonio, but what's Austin? Now you say Austin, I mean, that's like a music capital now. It's like a music version of Hollywood. So
right.
I'm very proud to let folks know from Austin, Texas, man.
Wow, man. So how do you make the transition from Austin, Texas
A plane.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real easy now. They've been doing it for years.
Really?
You take a plane, you leave home,
I don't know,
and you end
man.
up in a whole nother
I know
area.
some brothers just walk, man.
Well, actually, it's like I said, like I joined the military, I joined the Navy, and I ended up in Chicago for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah?
Around the time when Jordan came back, like I was in that area, it was a friendly around there, and then after I finished boot camp in my schooling, I ended up here in Norfolk, Virginia. I know I'm in the area of Hollywood, so y'all could care less about me being on Discovery ID at all. You're like, he thinks he's made it. I have. I'm here, okay? When I told my mom I was gonna do comedy, the first people she said, I don't want you to be out there raunchy like everybody. I want you to be like Sinbad, be like Bill Cosby. And I looked in the eye and I'm like, Mama, I want to be Quincy Carr. I want to be the first Quincy Carr. So I appreciate when folks are like, be like this person, but I want to be the first me and let somebody else be like me.
Right.
But I definitely emulate those guys, in the ability to connect with the audience and, be able to give them a show and not use the easy words to get people to laugh.
How did we get to comedy?
Comedy, I mean, it was always a part of me, obviously. Like, I used to make my mom laugh. I was the class clown. I was the typical class clown, which is probably why my GPA was so low, barely getting out of high school. But it's something that, like, I used to sneak up and watch BT Comic View and Def Jam and all that, but I never really thought about being a comedian. And it wasn't until my first job after I got out the Navy, and this girl was like, you ever thought about comedy because you're funny? I'm like, no. And then I met this guy who's been a comedian in the area, and it was a club called the Thoroughgood Inn Comedy Club down there in Virginia Beach on Shore Drive, and very historic. And went there for a couple of weeks, And finally, they gave me 3 minutes, and the bug has bit me ever since, man.
So them first 3 minutes, were you nervous or?
Absolutely. I've had a burning in my fingertips that I've never ever had before, and it was just in my fingertips. And I remember the jokes that I talked about. It was one about my first job at Wendy's, and another one about people with ugly kids. And I used, because I wasn't sure if I was going to remember my jokes, so I wrote on a piece of paper, but I used that paper as a prop, like it was a picture.
Right.
But when people thought I was looking at the picture, I was really looking at it and say, okay, now what's the next joke? But I was allowing that to be, part of my bit, so I can get through that first 3 minutes. But ever since then, man, I've just been in love with it.
So you was able to wing it, man.
Yeah, man. 15 years this past March.
15 years.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Absolutely.
And you still rolling, man. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Well, clearly I haven't made it yet. I'm still in the area. I appreciate you really extenuating the 15 years part. Thank you. Hence the Twitter followers being 400 or 399.
See, this is what you get when you interview a comedian.
I enjoy the life, and it's mostly about right place, right time, right person see you. That's how this thing works, and as long as you put yourself in a position to be seen, then if the right person see you, then your career will take off. I am excited, man. I'm from Texas, but I am here by way of Virginia, where the climate is obviously a little bit different here. It's a little bit warmer than it is over there in Virginia. So I came out here, and I wanted to go check out the beaches and see everything. And y'all wide open out here. I'll let y'all know right now, y'all are wide open. I'm looking around, and I'm seeing thongs, skin showing, piercings everywhere, the tattoo on the shoulder, on the money shot tattoos. These men are serious out here. Y'all ladies need to catch up. These men know exactly what they want out of life. I opened for some more Queen of Comedy, a few times. So I've had my opportunities with people, and I've used those as experiences.
Wow. So what was the excitement like working with those guys? Was they like, was y'all going back and forth cracking jokes on each other?
Like with Kevin Hart, he's the same person you usually like. I don't know if y'all saw the Oprah interview with Kevin. Like Kevin is such a real cool, laid back cat. He gave me a pretty good compliment because I was opening prior to him. So after the first show, and this was right before he was about to blow up. So he was going around doing these comedy clubs to get ready for his special. Just FYI, a lot of comics that are headliners aren't going to want to follow you. Wow. So you may find it a little difficult in the industry at times.
So how did you take that? Did you take that as a positive or negative?
I took it as a positive, but just being a part of the business, it becomes a negative in your career if you're trying to make it right now, type of deal. Because there's a lot of headlining comics out there that are really sore losers to people in front of them that rip and that do a good job, and then they got to follow that. Like D.L. Hughley, really cool cat. He wants you to do well in front of him, so all he has to do is just ride that wave. Charlie Murphy the same way. Like he will have people that will go up and destroy the crowd prior to them, and then they get up and they're not as strong, but they love just to be able to, let me just ride that wave. But then you have some guys that's like, man, how much time is this dude gonna do, man?
I wanted to, really emphasize on the fact that you do clean comedy. All right. And like the responses that you get from your comedy, what is it like for you? Do you feel people that you may lose your crowd because it's clean, or you feel people actually appreciate it because it's like you're looking towards being a classic, entertainer?
First of all, that question was very loaded. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break it down myself. The answer is yes, no, and no.
Okay.
Next. Like I learned a long time ago, because I used to struggle with the black audience. We are some of the toughest people to entertain, hands down, because we have this mentality, you better be funny type of deal. And I came up in a predominantly white or mainstream type of club where a Caucasian audience is more receptive to whatever you're working on and trying to do. Black folks, we don't give each other no shot at all before we ready to say, all right, next, get this clown off the stage. So I remember talking to the owner of the mainstream club that I started at, and I said, I'm having trouble with black and white comedy. And he said, funny is funny. Understand it. There's no difference between black and white. If you're funny, it's funny. And if it's not, then it's not.
Oh man, I am blessed to be able to have found a decent hotel to stay here. My visit out in Inglewood. So because I care about my safety a lot. Got robbed immediately. Inglewood got robbed, but not of my money, of my time. It's 2013, and people are still writing checks in public. Who are these people? Checks. Some of you are a little slow. You'll get it tomorrow. Checks in public. Pay with cash, credit card, safe check writing for the bills at home. Even then, you can get it done online. But in public, don't you have been behind the line of that one person? Excuse me. How much? All right, here we go. Right there. They need my Social Security. Okay, I got that right there. And they look at you like you shouldn't have a problem with what they're doing to you. They look at you like, nosy. There you go, $2.16. You standing behind like, we in Dollar Tree. What are you doing, man?
You just got to know how to come at them, but you stay true to who you are. I've been on shows where cats is using the N-word left and right, MF this, B-word this, and I could come up there and I can maybe drop an F-bomb, a sugar honey iced tea, but it's within the realm of the joke. It's about knowing what your audience is and about giving them what you know will fit. And then you just roll with it. So if you clean and they like it, I mean, I could curse on the show and I would still have people book me for a church show saying, I can tell that you're a cleaner comic, so I'm sure you can do the show without cursing.
Right.
And I'm like, F yeah. You know, that so, but yeah, it's a blessing to be able to have the ability.
So you've actually performed this out of a church doing comedy before?
Yeah.
What was that like?
I hadn't been in church in a minute, and so I think the first thing I did to get myself ready for this church audience was I asked everybody to bow their heads, and I said, God, I'd like you to ask us to give this man on stage the opportunity, and if he slips or if he says something he's not supposed to say, just know that we are working on him in the name of Jesus. And the people busted out laughing. I was like, wow, that worked? Because I was just saying it just to break the ice. I've never had a problem doing church audiences. Wow. I mean, I could be on the show with a comic who is a Christian or gospel comic, and I just give them funny material that anybody would find funny without using a Bible or a church reference. And it would make it somewhat difficult for a lot of those other comics that just do church stuff. Because what people don't get is, just because you're in church and the show is at your church, you don't want to hear Bible stuff. You come to church on Sunday to hear stuff about the Bible. You just want to laugh.
Right.
And that's what, or that's the ability that I would have being at a church or at a comedy club. It doesn't matter.
I'm a product of the 80s. Anybody product of the 80s like me? You grew up in the 80s, a kid in the 80s? Yeah. I was born in 76. I know I don't look that old. I'm 36. And I enjoy the 80s, man. Like, you're a real product of the 80s when you remember when you actually had to tape record your favorite song on the local radio stations, Hot 88. That's when there was no easy way to get a song. You had to wait 24 hours. One shot. It may not even make the countdown, but you had one shot, 3 fingers. To make this transaction happen. Pause and play and record right there. Some of you got arthritis in those 3 fingers right now. You can't even turn your steering wheel. 1988, hurt my finger.
I heard you got some stuff coming up, man, as far as dealing with acting. What you got going on?
I'm actually, we actually just wrapped. It's my debut role in a film. It's an independent film. We shot it right here in the 757. Writer-producer Charles Farmer.
Okay.
It's a new romantic comedy called Employee of the Year. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm the comedy relief in the film, as well as some other folks, but I'm the main character that was allowed to kind of freestyle outside of the script as long as I stayed within the confines of the character.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun. We actually last year around this time in August was when we everybody knew who was actually cast for it, and then we start character building all the way through Christmas, and then after Christmas we actually started rehearsals, and then May is when we started filming, and they finally just wrapped it up. So it's a long process, and it's supposed to be coming out this fall.
Have coming out like in the future?
Well, I was recently cast to play the lead in the historic play Raisin in the Sun. They feel that I can bring a newness to the character and to the script, and you know, even with a little bit of comedy, even though it's not a comedic role. So I'm very excited, and they're just waiting on they have the investor now, so they're just waiting on the place. I don't know if it's going to be at the Addicts Theater in Norfolk or wherever.
One more question for you. Now, you're also an entrepreneur amongst being an actor and a comedian.
Yes,
all
sir.
right, and your profession, you are a barber. All right. Now, by being a comedian and a barber, when you have people sitting in your chair, how do they respond to your conversation? 'Cause I know your conversation, man, you be having people cracking up.
Well, contrary to some what they may believe, I'm really regarded as a serious business person. Like when people see me, like they don't believe I do comedy, because I'm not the typical, you know, I'm just acting crazy. Oh, he got to be a comedian.
Right.
It's all about making sure that you have people that trust your word, that you have something called integrity, based on what you say you put out there. And my motto for my shop is, you know, a personal barber for your positive image. And like where I'm located is right in the middle of corporate America, at the Bank of America. So it's a lot of people with suits and ties and stuff that are walking by. So I have an image to uphold, so it's not all fun and jokes. However, when we're in the shop, if there's something funny, we have fun and we talk about it. But, you know, like there's no hanging out on the outside of the, you know, shop as people passing by, whistling and hollering at the women, because there are women that walk past, you know, but it's none of that. You know, it's all about professionalism, and you know, that's what I've seen. So, you know, when it's time to joke, it's time to joke. I will tell you that I experienced the worst breath ever in the barber shop. I'm gonna tell you, I'll never forget it, man. You remember 5 years ago when Michael Jackson died and it was breaking news?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm cutting my customers' hair. Like, I've never smelled breath anything close to this. I'm cutting his hair. I'm gonna set the scene up. Like, the TV is this way, he's facing this way, and I'm standing behind him. I'm cutting his hair. Flashing news. You know, Michael Jackson just passed away. This guy's like, oh man, MJ gone. My clip was cut off. The breath was that bad. I've never seen electricity cut off when the bill was paid. My clip was cut off. Like, I don't think you understand how bad the breath was. Like his breath did an illegal U-turn, came back and hit me in my nose and turned my clippers off.
Wow.
That's how bad that. Like, that's worse.
That's bad.
Like, do you know how bad your breath has to be for the atmosphere to reject it? Go back that way. I got pollution I'm dealing with. I don't have to. I'm gonna reverse you back that way.
Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years, man?
Out of Hampton Roads. Look, the traffic is the worst. Okay, I'm sick and tired of these tolls. I'm paying $35 a month,
Tell
the
me,
minimum
brother.
to go across these Portsmouth tunnels.
Need somebody speak up for us.
Yeah, it's look, I'm based out of this area. Obviously, I've been here over half my life, so this is now home for me as well as Texas. But, you know, wherever God takes me, man, wherever I'm supposed to be, then that's where I'm going to be. You know, if I got to pick up my family and move, you know, as long as it's an opportunity, it's not just something that I'm just a whim, you know, something that I'm hoping will come to me. So I just keep doing whatever I do. I build up my video catalog where I can be Googled or, you know, or searched for without people typing in comedian or comedy. They just type in Quincy Carr and I'll pop up. So I just lay down the groundwork. So like on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, it's at Quincy Carr, Twitter at Quincy Carr. Like wherever you type in Quincy Carr, you'll see videos and all types of stuff of me. There is no more videotapes and VHS and CDs that you send in. You got to have video clips, something that's just tangible. They can get on their smartphone and look for you. And the point is, when it's time for me to blow, when it's time for me to take off, if something happens, if I get discovered, the first thing people do, let me see who this Quincy Carr is. And then what they're going to see is, boom, boom, oh man, this guy's been doing it for a minute. I didn't want to be in a position where I start building it up after I'm discovered. And now I'm behind the ball because people only see 1 or 2 videos of me. So, you know, I've been in the game for 15 years, and I really took the marketing myself and my brand seriously back in 2010 to start just building up my web presence.
Can I reach you?
Don't. I'll be completely honest. Don't reach me at all.
Don't call him.
No. You can go to quincycarr.com. Everything is, like I said, everything is Quincy Carr. So I don't have any other tags, any other names, just Quincy Carr with 2 R's. On Twitter, Facebook. I don't do Instagram.
Okay.
But yeah, Twitter, Facebook, and my website, or just go to Google, Bing, Yahoo. It don't matter. You'll be able to find me.
Now, before we go, for our young viewers, how about a few words of inspiration?
Know that the power is of the tongue. If you say what you want, it will manifest itself, good or bad. So remember that. There is a such thing as a good and bad success, in my opinion. You can do all the bad things and make money, and it'll be taken away from you. That's a bad success. Or you can do all the good things, take a long time to get it. Don't step on anybody while you're climbing up. That way, if you fall a little bit, you got people that will be there to catch you. That's a good success. And most importantly, they can't take that away from you when you do it the right way.
Urban Life, this is Quincy Carr. I'm Anthony Roberts, and we're out of here. You have a good night. Thank you, Quincy.
Thank you, man.
All right.
I remember the 80s, man. I remember how interesting it was when Thriller hit, man. When Thriller, Michael Jackson, I'm a Michael Jackson fan. We coming up on 4 years of him dying. It don't even seem like it was 4 years ago. But Michael Jackson is gone. King of pop. Nobody will ever be as bad as that dude. I'm gonna show y'all, so some of y'all don't even understand how awesome Michael Jackson was. This dude told you everything he was about in all of his album titles. Think about it. If you're a fan, you know he was Off the Wall. He was a thriller. He was bad. Got a little dangerous. Full of blood on the dance floor. Made history. Became invincible. Then he came out and said, "This is it," and died. What the? The greatest entertainer to ever do it. He told you when he was done. God, this is it.